Shedeur Sanders will be starting for the Browns by week 9. I am buying this. I am buying this absolutely. At a certain point, Joe Flacco just not the answer. We know they already made the change. Dylan Gabriel is starting this week. We know that. But maybe a team needs a quarterback, and they're willing to trade for Joe Flacco for some level of stability, and then we simply get nothing out of Dylan Gabriel. He is a rookie quarterback when it's all said and done. Maybe there's just no production from him. So why not just move on to a different rookie quarterback that you have just to see what you have? And then, as George, as you mentioned up at the top, you have to evaluate going into next year's draft. So I will absolutely buy this.
The next 4 weeks, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Miami, New England. I mean, the question is this. If they truly believe that Gabriel could be a future starter, you got to give him more than 4 weeks, right? That's 4 weeks is not enough. Minnesota, that's a rough game, all right, being played, England this week. Pittsburgh, they haven't have a defense. Miami is not very good. New England's supposed to have a good defense, has it here. I'm going to sort of go – I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to start at some point this week. I don't think it's going to be by week 10, although that does make sense here to name him the starter during the bye week, get him 2 weeks here. I'm going to go more, maybe double digits, week 12, week 14, somewhere around there. Because I want to give Gabriel a longer run. I think Gabriel might do some damage here against these lesser defenses here. So I think they give him a longer runway here. That being said, I do not think Gabriel is the long-term future of this team. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback at all here. I think he's a number 2 at best here. Sanders could be a number 1. I have doubts about him too. I think Sanders has a better shot. So by week 9, by week 10, I'll sell that. But if you were to give me a couple of more weeks, I would have bought it.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out a little baseball, a little football, a little hockey as well. So bottom of the 7th we go in Milwaukee, 1-0 Dodgers. They're in between innings right now. Snell should be coming out there. That's my main concern right now. Bottom 7, he's thrown 77 pitches. He's allowed 1 hit. There is just no reason in the world why he should be taken out of this game. So we will see. Bills, meanwhile, or Washington, I will say, they kick a field goal, so they cut the Bears' deficit to 13-10. Now the overrun, again, the unders are looking halfway decent tonight. 38.5 for the Bills. That was as high as, I don't know if I saw 60, but it was in the 50s early on. Was it 60
It hit as high as 60.5 early. And I didn't fall for it early. I saw that. I was like, nah, this will slow down. That's just a little bit too high.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, who would have thought that, though, that the Bills' offense would sputter as much as they have, right? And the defense tightened up. I was very angry and critical of the defense earlier in the game. They've made stops. They need to come up with a stop again, but the offense really isn't helping them out at all, right? It's quick 3 and outs, and the Bills got to get on the field again. And give credit to the Falcons, Scott. When the Falcons are clicking, and they're clicking tonight, they're difficult to deal with. They mix up Robinson and Algier. So you always sort of have a fresh running back in here right now. The only thing that's beating them is when they throw the football. They get a false start or something happens. If they would just run the ball every play, I think they'd be better off. But they throw it and they complete it here. The Bills got to them a second late. Penix gets smoked by Bosa, completes it to Robinson down the field, and this game's nearly a wrap.
Wow.
Big play for Atlanta.
The Falcons on paper, they're like a poor man's. I don't even say who, but their running backs are pretty good. Not great. They got a 2-headed monster there in Algier and Robinson, but, their wide receivers.
They're greatly improved on defense. That's what's made them better.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Raheem Morris, the defensive guy.
You know what it is, though? Their quarterback is hit or miss. And I like Penix. I think Penix can be good, but he has bad games. Yeah, he's still, a young player in the NFL, right? So that's going to happen where he's going to get confused at times and, they're going to go on the road. He's not going to look good or whatnot, but he has his moments where he does as well. And he's a little older. He's like 25, maybe going on 26. Like he's not like one of these 22-year-olds. He was in college for his full career. The Bills came close to getting him on that pass. It was a ballsy play call. He dumped it off over everyone's head, and Robinson was all alone open. Bills have big problems now. 4 minutes left, and they just can't get the ball back.
Yeah. That's what I said. This Falcon team, they got some wide receivers. They got the tight end Pitts. If these guys would all just kind of step up their game a little bit, they would pose a challenge in that NFC South. But it's 21-14. They're laying 7.5 now. That's interesting.
And now
Bills
Penix
plus
is picking them apart.
Yeah.
They just threw the ball again.
Wow.
And so if you like the Bills plus 7.5, and I'm already thinking the same thing for my Bills teaser, Scott, in which, all right, if you're going to hold no field goal here, score a touchdown, and you lose by 3, right? We were talking about that plus 3.5 earlier with the Bills.
Right.
I don't know if they can score a touchdown, though.
Yeah.
It's not like automatic. They haven't been able to score a touchdown at all here in a second. Like, what have they done?
Yeah, nothing. The opening drive, that was it. You got all this problem. Yeah. They came right out of halftime. They went right down the field.
They got some momentum, too, then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they scored a touchdown.
Even right away.
Even after the blocked field goal. Like, they had momentum. You get the ball. Everyone's fired up. And now the Falcons are just bleeding the clock and picking up big chunks here. Already down to 3 minutes left right now. And, of course, Sean McDermott's an idiot, so he's not using any of his timeouts. Like, Coach, you got to use your timeouts now. Like, seriously, they're going to take this to the 2-minute warning. Yeah, like, hey, but McDermott's a bad in-game coach. Like, seriously, they're taking off the full play clock right now, Scott. So it's going from 2:50 down to 2:20 right now. Good job, Sean.
That's with 3 timeouts.
And it's second down now. So you use them now, Scott. Second down, third down. You got a 2-minute warning. Yeah. He's just, he just wasted a minute. It went from basically 3 minutes to 2 minutes now. Like, it was 2nd and 5. You use your timeout.
Yeah. You know that the clock is running now. I always say this, people that will say, well, they're going to use that after 2nd and 3rd and 4th down. Yeah, but they may throw a pass. The kid may go out of bounds. And then you're going to be saying to yourself, man, I just ticked away 35 seconds when I should have called the timeout earlier. I didn't know that they were going to run out of bounds.
You call timeout, it puts pressure on them. Exactly. Like, it puts pressure on them to call a play.
Timeout.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, wow. That's a little surprising. He must be bad. I don't dissect Bill games down as much as you obviously do.
He mismanages late. Like, the Bills lose.
Yeah.
If the Bills win, Scott, they blow you out. Like, if you get them in a close game, they'll get tight. They don't make the bad play calls, bad coaching, in-game decisions, and it's constant. It's like it's not new. I don't like to be like one of these fire the coach guys all the time, but the act is getting old right now with McDermott. He's a defensive guy. Like, you know what I mean? And they got problems on defense. So now Atlanta, like I said, I don't know why Atlanta's throwing the ball, but Atlanta just threw the ball on first down. But Buffalo have let the clock just down. They're down to 2:17, Scott. So even when they get the ball back eventually, like they're not going to have they're going to have the ball back with under 2 minutes left. And McDermott's going to have 3 timeouts. Good for you. What's the point? Yeah. Time is more important than the timeouts now, Coach.
Yeah. And if you're down 10, it doesn't matter anyway. Allen's thrown for 150
You could have called a timeout
yards.
at 2:50 left on the 2nd and 5. Like, you legit already, we could already be into them kicking a field goal sequence right now. And you'd be getting the ball back. Like, you're playing right into their hands. Like, it's amazing to me.
Jeez. Wow. 21-14. 2:17 left. They're going to get a first down. It's basically not over, but even if you stop them now, you're going to get the ball back with about 30 seconds or so. Well, no, you got the 3 timeouts in mind.
Yeah, and McDermott still never used his timeouts. He could have, slowed this game down, gave his defense a rest, and said, listen, the game's on the line now. We got to stop him and hold him to a field goal here now. Instead, he just stands there, lets the timeouts, goes down to the 2-minute warning.
Jeez, why is Atlanta throwing the ball? They had a field goal blocked 5 minutes ago. So it's not like, okay, they're in field goal range, Scott, so they know if they go up 2 scores no matter how much time is left, the game's over, right? You just got your field goal blocked. So it's not a guarantee you're going to kick a 40-yard field goal here. Force Buffalo to use some of their timeouts.
And Buffalo can't stop the run either, so you should just be running on every play.
Yeah.
They can't stop
it. They run for 200.
You just saw now Algier.
It's a good point, Gabe. They've run for over 200 yards. I mean, I hate when teams just run 3 times, use the other team's timeouts, and then punt the ball away, right? I mean, I hate that. Go be aggressive.
Yeah, but if the other team can't stop it.
200, yeah, Atlanta's run for 217 yards tonight.
What are they averaging?
They're averaging almost 8 yards, 7.8 yards a carry. What are you doing throwing the ball, coach? Run the ball. Make them, stop you for the first time all game.
And as I stated, McDermott is the defensive guy. He has nothing to do with Josh Allen's success. Like, nothing. He doesn't coach the offense. Like, he has nothing to do with the Bills, sort of the good part of the Bills. He's a defensive guy. And the Buffalo Bills came into tonight averaging, giving up 145 yards a game. Only Chicago and Miami give. You know what, Scott? The bottom 5 of rush yards allowed. Cincinnati, who suck. Dallas, Buffalo, Chicago, Miami. That's not a neighborhood you want to be in if you're the Buffalo Bills, if you consider yourselves contenders.
Yeah. You got a 53-yard field goal, by the way, in that Washington game.
They give up more than the Tennessee Titans do on the ground. They're worse than the Tennessee Titans are. Like, that's pretty alarming.
That puts it into perspective, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 53 yards the other in the Washington game. That over hit that amazing.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
You may be surprised, because I am, that the athlete in the world who has become the first billionaire is Cristiano Ronaldo. I did not know that, and I did not have that on my bingo card. So after his contract that he just signed, it means that he's the first athlete to ever earn $1 billion playing sports.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I told you Vladimir Guerrero would hit a home run. He hits a home run on his first pitch. 2-run shot, 2-0 Jays. And I gave you Suarez earlier. I'm telling you, Scott, Contreras last night, Story the other night. Bro, every night I've been hitting these home run props. And not the easy Ohtani ones at plus 190.
Right.
These are plus 450s, baby.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Basically a year's worth of starts at this point, because remember, Drake May was not the starter out of the gate during his rookie year last year. That was Jacoby Brissett. There have been some, encouraging performances and, I think some flashes of what could be upper echelon talent within the scope of the league. But going into this year, it was, we're going to find out.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yanks ain't looking good. My Phillies aren't looking good. Can we have a pity party this morning? I mean, what gives?
Listen, you want to talk about cities that aren't doing too well here. You mentioned the Yankees on the brink here. Jets, forget about it. 0-5. Giants, you lose to a winless New Orleans team. Things ain't any better here in the Big Apple. I said, I think sports fans are maybe praying for the New York Rangers, who are certainly better than the New York Islanders.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live. Game day here on the grid. The bumbling Bills do it again. 3rd and 1, just after the 2-minute warning, and they jump off sides. First down, Atlanta. Now, Buffalo still has 3 timeouts left, so they could still theoretically force a field goal. But now you're going to get the ball back with 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
They'll have no timeouts.
Down 10.
So they'll need to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
and then get an onside kick. And honestly, when teams are bad, Scott, I could just see them sort of like the Lions last night. You couldn't make it up. I had Jared Goff in game over 222.5. They were 211 on the last drive. And I was like, all right, if you get a first down on this drive, I'll win this prop. If you don't, I won't.
Right.
They couldn't. Last drive of the game, they just sort of mailed it in. They 4 downs and out. Couldn't pick up a first down. I don't even have confidence that the Bills will be able to move the ball when I get the ball back. Right? I mean, it's just constant. Unless they can create a miracle turnover here and still be down 7. But, all right, so they get the stop on third down. Can they block the field goal again or something?
Yeah. Even the boys in Vegas don't think they're capable of game because they're giving you 9.5 plus 124.
Wow.
So
they're telling you they don't even think they're going to score. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
and they need a field goal too, hypothetically, right?
Yeah,
exactly. I mean. They could, they could say, all right, we'll kick a field goal. We'll go for the onside kick after. That's surprising.
I mean, that's very tempting. Now they just locked it, but if they come back after the field goal, that's.
I was going to say they need to pull a rabbit out here and somehow block a field goal again, but they don't. So they're down 24-14. 24-14.
Wow.
The kick is good.
The kick is good. All right,
There's
let's see what numbers
143 left in the game.
Yeah, they're giving us again 9.5 plus 130. I'm going to do it. I know it's like all signs say this is not going to happen, but he can't get an by the way field goal. Knowing the field goal is in play, they're giving me 9.5 plus odds. Is McDermott smart enough to go for a field goal if they get it down to the 30-yard line with 35 seconds left? I mean, I would hope
he's
so.
It's not so much he's smart. He's just a big wuss bag. So, yeah, he'd go for the field goal. He's the type of guy, Scott, he'd go for the field goal with 4 seconds left. Well, we'll go for the onside kick after and throw a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Scott, this is the coach that lost in 13 seconds to the Kansas City Chiefs. Think about that. 13 seconds. Somehow he couldn't hang on.
Amazing. That really still is mind-boggling, right?
They kicked the ball off. They got a big return. It was 2 plays later. And they asked, why didn't you squib kick it? He goes, well, it could have went out of bounds if we did that. Whatever he does, it'll be the wrong decision, essentially.
Right. Yeah. He is your Scott Norwood of head coaching for the Buffalo Bills. No matter what, it's not going to work for him. It just isn't. Yeah.
And you know what? I actually thought too. I think it's going to become a real topic of conversation. If the season continues this way, there'll be no choice. But even now, the topic is going to come up. But they're early in the game last night, Scott. I'm watching the Detroit Lions play, and I'm like, damn, they look good. Aiden Hutchinson's flying around. They're moving the ball with Jahmyr Gibbs up and down the field, and I'm thinking, man, this Lion team, man, they look like maybe this is the year. They look like a Super Bowl team. And lo and behold, the same old Detroit Lions, right? Same with the Buffalo Bills. There's these teams that you think that they turn the corner, are they good? And they always just are who they are. It never really ever changes.
Yeah. You know how I always evaluate it too, Gabe, is, and all the lines are locked right now. If the head coach got fired, would he have a job tomorrow? And I don't think Sean McDermott would. Zach Taylor,
I say he would, actually. I say he would. McDermott would. He's won a lot of games, right? A lot of regular season games. He's the Marty Schottenheimer of the modern NFL.
Yeah, good old Marty. I always rooted for him.
McDermott wins 12 games a year, 13 games a year, never wins a big game. That's McDermott's career.
9.5 it is. They got it their own 30-yard line. I say I would make that bet. I don't know if they win, but I think this has got 24-17 written all over it.
They just threw a bomb. And not to mention, listen, it's not just either McDermott. Think about it. The Buffalo Bills traded a draft pick many years ago to the Kansas City Chiefs because the Chiefs wanted to move up in the draft to draft Patrick Mahomes. So the Bills set the Chiefs up with Patrick Mahomes. Think about that. The Saints were going to take him instead, which would have made the lives of the Bills a hell of a lot easier, right? The Saints were the one other team that liked Mahomes. It wasn't like Mahomes was superly loved by everybody coming into the NFL. They're the ones that did. 2 years ago, Scott, they did the same effing thing with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
The same Chiefs team that beats you all the time. They like Xavier Worthy. The Bills traded down saying we're not going to draft Worthy anyways. The Bills drafted Keon Coleman instead. Who's better right now in the NFL? Yeah. Xavier Worthy or Keon Coleman? Some people don't even know who Keon Coleman is. You know what I mean? You know who Xavier Worthy is, right? Like, it's like constant mistakes on, with this football team. All right, here's Josh scrambling right now, which screws me for my passing yard prop. But, all right, so they're on the 25-yard line right now of the Falcons. Maybe we can get this touchdown, Scott.
Right.
I have the Bills on teasers plus 6.5, as do you. I need a touchdown here. The field goal doesn't do me any good.
That's right. You know what? I forgot about it. You put so many bets in, you forget.
I lost.
And I got the 2 unders already in, basically.
I did it last night, Scott. I had the Detroit Lions on a 10-point teaser. They would have won. I had them plus 12.5. They lose by 13.
You gotta be kidding me. Me too.
You gotta be kidding me.
I had them in 2 teasers.
Now I got the Bills plus 6.5. One of these. How can this lose early? When I'm looking at it, I'm like, I got the Bills plus 6.5 tonight. Come on. Great bet. I love this. Let's go.
Wow. Jaden Daniels, touchdown pass to McCaffrey.
I knew this game was going to open up in the second half.
17-16. Washington just taking the lead. Wow.
What's the new total now?
How about that? It's got to be pretty close to the original number, right? Josh,
man, the way things are going too for me, I can see the Bears not covering now. So it was close at 49. It's right there.
49. Yeah, right there. 3 minutes left to go in the third. Wow. Football's crazy as far as back and forth. 57 seconds left. I know you're down to the 18, but
hurry up, Josh.
You don't have any timeouts. Kick the field goal. I was strategic. I'm glad they don't. Oh, what a God! He threw an interception.
He threw an interception.
Shedeur Sanders will be starting for the Browns by week 9. I am buying this. Absolutely. At a certain point, Joe Flacco just not the answer. We know they already made the change. Dylan Gabriel is starting this week. We know that. But maybe a team needs a quarterback, and they're willing to trade for Joe Flacco for some level of stability, and then we simply get nothing out of Dylan Gabriel. He is a rookie quarterback when it's all said and done. Maybe there's just no production from him. So why not just move on to a different rookie quarterback that you have just to see what you have? And then, as you mentioned over the top, you have to evaluate going into next year's draft. So I will absolutely buy this.
The next 4 weeks, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Miami, New England. I mean, the question is this. If they truly believe that Gabriel could be a future starter, you got to give him more than 4 weeks, right? That's 4 weeks is not enough. Minnesota, it's a rough game, all right, being played, England this week. Pittsburgh, they haven't have a defense. Miami is not very good. New England's supposed to have a good defense, hasn't here. I'm going to sort of go. I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to start at some point this week. I don't think it's going to be by week 10, although that does make sense here to name him the starter during the bye week, get him 2 weeks here. I'm going to go more, maybe double digits, week 12, week 14, somewhere around there. Because I want to give Gabriel a longer run. I think Gabriel might do some damage here against these lesser defenses here. So I think give him a longer runway here. That being said, I do not think Gabriel is the long-term future of this team. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback at all here. I think he's a number 2 at best here. Sanders could be a number 1. I have doubts about him too. I think Sanders has a better shot. So by week 9, by week 10, I'll sell that. But if you were to give me a couple of more weeks, I would have bought it.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in game live, game day here on the grid. The aggravation, I'll throw the gambling aspect out of it, right? The smart thing to do, Gabe, is you kick a field goal there. You need a field goal and a touchdown. I know you got the defense reeling a little bit, but time is the essence here. You can.
No, you're right with the time.
You
kick the field goal, and then you got actually a chance if you get the onside kick.
Right.
Exactly. As opposed to not having any time.
You can't kick a 60, 75-yarder, but you could, if the ball's at the 50-yard, you could do a Hail Mary, your own 45. That's why it's easier to get the field goal first, because you need to go further down the field. Could have scored a touchdown
if Josh Allen doesn't just throw it away. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
He's been doing this all night. And last week, it was the same thing. Casual, in the double coverage, no zip on the ball, kind of lobbing the ball, right? He's just not playing well right now. He didn't play well against the Patriots last week. They kind of played down to the Saints as well, and they got away with it. But last week, Josh Allen was not good. Like, it was the same thing. He was, like, turning the ball over and that sort of, like, nonchalantness after and no fire, no passion. Same thing tonight. Right? Constantly throwing the ball into coverage. And, it's unacceptable for them to be playing this poorly right now. Like, McDermott will be on the hot seat soon. Like, like I said earlier, before the game started, 1 loss becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, and then the Wolves really start to come out right now. Right? Like, the Bills are putting pressure on themselves, and this is the first time in how many years, man, that the Buffalo Bills have not been in first place in this division, Scott, at this time of the year. 13 years? No, 13. How long has Brady been gone? 8, 9 years, whatever the hell it's been, 6 years? I mean, the Bills have owned this division. Yeah, like, right, since he left for Tampa, et cetera, right? He played for Tampa for a couple of years, too. So, it does. You know what? It doesn't get much easier for them either. I mean, if you look forward to their schedule, they get a little bit of a reprieve this week, Scott, but is it? They play the Carolina Panthers. Actually, they have a bye, so it's a bye week, and then so they have a bye week, and then it's the Panthers. Then they get the Chiefs at home. City. Yeah, so it's pretty much the season on the line over the next couple of. Suddenly, the Buccaneers are good too. Eh? The Bucs go to Buffalo in a month, so they got the Dolphins, the Panthers mixed in there. Yeah, they better start winning games, otherwise McDermott will be fired. That's my call.
The Wigland does hold. The Wigland holds the head-to-head tiebreaker because they beat them. So they are technically, not technically, they are. They're in first place, even though they're both 4-2. You're right. When's the last time 6 weeks into a season the Bills weren't, even by themselves alone in first place?
So how about this?
So bad. So
if the playoffs started today, the Indianapolis Colts would be the 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen,
Tampa Bay would be the 1 seed in the NFC right now.
Yeah. We looked at their schedule, and I'll bring it up here again. Indianapolis, they don't really, they got the Chargers, but on the road, they got Tennessee.
Yeah, they don't really play anybody.
Pittsburgh,
you're right.
Atlanta, Jacksonville, Seattle's, pretty good. San Fran.
Well, like they have 11 games left.
City.
So think about it. They got 11 games left. Even if they went 6-5, they still win 11 games.
Yeah.
And I think they go better. What do you think they go in their 11 games? Let's say they go 7-4.
They're not going to lose to Tennessee at home. Let's say they get a split out of Atlanta, Houston. Yeah, we'll say 12-5.
No one. I didn't think they were going to be 12-5. I tell you that.
Yeah. No, definitely not. It'll be curious to see what they do with Daniel Jones after the season because he's on a 1-year contract. But that's neither here nor there.
They'll be in the Sam Darnold position. Yeah, and then Daniel Jones going to cash in large after, like Sam Darnold, because be like, well, we got to pay him. Got to pay him.
Yeah, big time. I mean, but they're like realistically that Kansas City game Sunday, November 23rd could be for the number 1 overall seed when you consider the head-to-head tiebreaker, the Indianapolis Colts, right? Although their defense this past week looked horrible. Oh gosh,
as it is now, the Chiefs are not in the playoffs too. Which is still like they're 3-3, but as it is now, they wouldn't be. You've got to be 4-2 to get in.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about Buffalo right now. I'm wondering about they do. So Buffalo, it's already updated. Buffalo is still in at 4-2. They win the tiebreaker over Denver and Jacksonville based on win percentage in conference games. So the Bills are still in right now, even at 4-2. If the playoffs started today, the Bills are the 5 seed and the Patriots are the 4 seed. They would go head to head.
Wow. Indianapolis would be 1, Pittsburgh would be 2. Who would have said that after
this is whacked out stuff, Scott. The NFC is twisted.
It is crazy.
A lot of people would not believe you. You'd be like, no, that's not true. Like, that's not true.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders will be starting for the Browns by week 9. I am buying this. I am buying this absolutely. At a certain point, Joe Flacco just not the answer. We know they already made the change. Dylan Gabriel is starting this week. We know that. But maybe a team needs a quarterback, and they're willing to trade for Joe Flacco for some level of stability, and then we simply get nothing out of Dylan Gabriel. He is a rookie quarterback when it's all said and done. Maybe there's just no production from him. So why not just move on to a different rookie quarterback that you have just to see what you have? And then, as George, as you mentioned over the top, you have to evaluate going into next year's draft. So I will absolutely buy this.
The next 4 weeks, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Miami, New England. I mean, the question is this. If they truly believe that Gabriel could be a future starter, you got to give him more than 4 weeks, right? That's 4 weeks is not enough. Minnesota, that's a rough game, all right, being played with England this week. Pittsburgh, they haven't have a defense. Miami is not very good. New England's supposed to have a good defense, hasn't here. I want to sort of go. I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to start at some point this week. I don't think it's going to be by week 10, although that does make sense here to name him the starter during the bye week, get him 2 weeks here. I'm going to go more, maybe double digits, week 12, week 14, somewhere around there. Because I'm going to want to give Gabriel a longer run. I think Gabriel might do some damage here against these lesser defenses here. So I think give him a longer runway here. That being said, I do not think Gabriel is the long-term future of this team. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback at all here. I think he's a number 2 at best here. Sanders could be a number 1. I have doubts about him too. I think Sanders has a better shot. So by week 9, by week 10, I'll sell that. But if you would give me a couple more weeks, I would have bought it.
Fantasy Sports Today, Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 3. Welcome our good buddy, Mr. George Kurtz, SportsGrid host. We'll talk a little baseball, a little football with him. What's going on, George? Where do you want to begin? Bills game just ended. We got 9th inning Dodgers, 1-0, and then we got the Commanders with a 17-16 lead. Let's start there. Just finished up the third quarter, so this is the one game we can put some action in.
Let me just throw this in here. Sorry. The Bears just had a field goal blocked. Now the Bears are bearing it up. Field goal block for the Washington blocks the field goal. 17-16 Commanders. This year, huh?
Gabe, it's got to be. It's got to be the most field goals blocked, punts blocked in the first 6 weeks of the season. It's got to be, George. So, wow. Would you have this one? Where would you go down?
Extra points, blocks.
Extra point, everything.
Yeah, it's
Captain
been a strange
Shock,
season
George.
the
Bills. Had to have heard you too, Bill George.
Listen, he want to start with the Commanders, okay? So the good news is the Commanders, all right? I'm on the Commanders. I don't want to talk about the Bills.
They're not covering the Commanders yet, but they did block that field goal.
Yeah, so that was good news, as I am on the Commanders. Yeah, this whole football night was bad until the Commanders just took the lead here. So I originally had the over last night, or I was going to bet the over, but then I realized the Storm. I went to the under instead. So the Commanders game is going better for me now. Certainly not good, but better for me now. Lower scoring game. I certainly don't want to see 2 more touchdowns scored in this contest. It is what it is here. I had much more action on the Bills here. I did not see the Bills coming out the way they did, especially when they scored a touchdown in the first drive. All right, here we go. We got the Bills back here. They're going to score some points. We're going to get our over. Bills will win the game. And that was the last really good thing that happened to the Buffalo Bills tonight. So it's been a grueling night.
Do you think McDermott should be fired? Like, not fired in the morning type thing, but should this topic, Hernandez gets a single for the Dodgers, Kike. It's got to be a topic conversation, George. Like the Bills, they're spinning their wheels. He's been there a long time. The old saying, the definition, doing the same thing over again and expecting different results. Right? It doesn't seem like McDermott has answers. It's embarrassing. What was the final tally, Scott, for the Falcons rushing yards tonight? Right? The Bills were giving up 145 yards. Dear God. Yeah. Those are college numbers, Scott. Those are college football numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for a bad team against a powerhouse. Yeah, Alabama rushed for 217. Right? Like, come on, man.
That's numbers.
It's weekly. It's weekly with this Bills team. They can't stop the run. How can you win in the NFL if you can't stop the run?
I mean, should they fire him? As you said, we're certainly not going to do it now. At the end of the season, I guess if once again you lose in the divisional round or you can't get past the big boys, then maybe you have to think about it because it's sort of like almost the same thing with Aaron Boone with the Yankees. Not as far as Boone's not a manager. I'm talking about, you don't win the big one. All right, that's the only thing Boone's there for. It's really the only thing McDermott's there for now. You've done everything else. You need to win the big one. My question would be to you, though, is the grass greener? I mean, you don't know who they're going to bring in.
Who?
Worse.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, who do you hire is the question.
Yeah. Belichick? Would you bring him in
God,
for
no.
a year or two?
No,
right?
God, no.
As long as no girlfriends are allowed? No, definitely not?
No.
Okay.
You have to hope you get lucky with one of the coordinators that, you know what I mean? Brady is there already. Brady is going to be a hot commodity. People are already talking about him with Tennessee. But you're right. There's no white knight horse like ready to roll in here and be the savior, you know?
My guess is, like I said, assuming they make they're going to make the playoffs, I still think they'll win the division. I think it's just a blip. I also wonder this, by the way, and once again, it's 2 weeks, 2 bad weeks here. So I don't think we should overreact to this yet. But are we finally seeing that, hey, they don't have a true number one receiver? Is that catching up to them? Where they don't have that true number one guy? You're asking Josh Allen to be Superman week in and week out. It's not always going to happen here. So I wonder if that could be it too. But like I said, it's October. I'm not going to panic for 2 weeks on the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. I'm not going to blame it all on the wide receivers because I think, you saw Palmer made a great play to start the game. I think there's times they're open. But I brought it up earlier. I mean, they gave Xavier Worthy to the Chiefs. Who's better, Keon Coleman or Xavier Worthy? Who's had more impact in the NFL? It's not even close. Right? That's like some of the decisions that they make or they put themselves in this position. And they've had a hard time, Scott, drafting a wide receiver for years. Right? Like they've been reluctant to draft one in the first round. Even Coleman was a second-round pick. While all these other sort of studs, they signed Stephon Diggs. Historically, the Bills have signed wide receivers, right? They signed Terrell Owens years ago, right? Like the Bills haven't been adverse to bringing in sort of wide receiver star guys, but they didn't. Like, and same in the offseason. They were very passive, right? Like, the Micah Parsons stuff they're never involved with. They never really got aggressive with the Bengals, like the Bills have left a lot of players on the field, in my opinion. And who cares if it doesn't work? You haven't won a Super Bowl before. Like, there should be more urgency. But, the owner, he's got a new stadium. George Kurtz, and you paid for it, Scott. The Pugulas, thank you for it. Right? New stadium, ownership, sweet boxes. They're going to make all that money. And life's good for them, whether they win the Super Bowl or not. Touchdown Commanders. I knew Zach Ertz was going to get a touchdown tonight. I brought it up earlier. Zach Ertz touchdown. Yeah.
My Zach Ertz.
And just like that, the Bears aren't even covering anymore.
Yeah.
Good.
See, this is where I like going for two. Now I'm up 7. Go for 2 now. This is what I really love it. Now make it a 2-score game. Now the risk is worth the reward. I don't know if they do that or
make
not.
them get a 2-point to tie you. There's no way I'm going 2 now.
The Dodgers.
I would.
Man, Mookie does it again. Mookie does it again. Mookie Betts is up with the bases loaded. He gets hit by a pitch.
Nice.
Now we don't have to worry about Snell.
It's bad for him, but we'll take it.
Now
right?
it was a great.
You know what I like, Scott, though, is he didn't get out of the way. I like that. I hate in big games when I see guys jump out of the way of getting hit by a pitch. It's like I know it's instinct, but but don't move. Like Mookie did not move. Mookie sort of saw it coming, and he was like, "All right, I'm going to let it hit me." But you know what I mean? It wasn't deliberate. He did it slick enough. Yeah, like don't move. He didn't jump out of the way at least, Kurtz. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you need to think about it beforehand, right? If the ball's inside, I'm not moving. You need to tell yourself that because, listen, normal human reaction is ball 99 coming at me. I'm getting out of the way.
Yeah, it's like standing in front of a car. Like you're going to want to move like that. It's like, you have to like beat it into your brain. Yeah.
And he doesn't have any. I'm looking at it now. He doesn't have any of that protective gear on like a lot of these guys have, right? He's just got regular him. Like there's no padding on his shoulder or elbow or arm where it's like, okay, I'll just kind of let it hit that.
Barry Bonds back in the day, we pretty much wear RoboCop.
Oh yeah, remember that?
Yeah. This is where though Alex Call came in for defensive purposes for Teoscar Hernandez, and now Alex Call is batting instead of having Hernandez's bat up here with the bases loaded. We'll see if Call can come through here There is only one out. Dodgers up 2-0 right now. One out. Bases still loaded. Alice call up, but it's the 3 spot, which is kind of strange. Like I said, they took Teoscar out for defensive purposes.
What were the odds? We're going to get, 6, 7 batters in this inning to get the Teoscar spot here. So don't sort of blame him for that. In a 1-run game, I think the fielder is probably more important than the batter. Just call it, get a productive out. It's 3-0.
He doesn't. He pops out to the shortstop. Not decent. Come on, bro. All you got to do is
just hit
and he comes over from Washington. Dude, we're not asking a lot. Exactly, Scott. Sacrifice fly or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
You feel that
popping out to the shortstop.
Do a squeeze or do a safety squeeze even. I mean,
if the Dodgers win, put less diamonds in his ring.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Exactly.
Less diamonds in his ring. Alice Call, you're lucky you're on the team. Yeah, you don't get the same ring as Ohtani gets.
Man. All right. All right, we got 30 seconds. We'll bring you back. We'll talk some more baseball. But you want to go lay 7.5, up 8 with Washington, or you want to take the Bears plus 7.5? 11 minutes left.
I'm tempted to take the Bears and score again here, but you know what? If Washington win, Dodgers win, I'll come pretty close to breaking even today, which was not looking very good a half hour ago. So I think I'm pretty much happy where I am.
This over suddenly in play. Total 49.5.
Yeah, back up to 49.5. Talking with George Kirk. More with him when we come back in Game Live.
Shedeur Sanders will be starting for the Browns by week 9. I am buying this. Absolutely. At a certain point, Joe Flacco just not the answer. We know they already made the change. Dylan Gabriel is starting this week. We know that. But maybe a team needs a quarterback, and they're willing to trade for Joe Flacco for some level of stability, and then we simply get nothing out of Dylan Gabriel. He is a rookie quarterback when it's all said and done. Maybe there's just no production from him. So why not just move on to a different rookie quarterback that you have just to see what you have? And then, as you mentioned over the top, you have to evaluate going into next year's draft. So I will absolutely buy this.
The next 4 weeks, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Miami, New England. I mean, the question is this. If they truly believe that Gabriel could be a future starter, you got to give him more than 4 weeks, right? That's 4 weeks is not enough. Minnesota, that's a rough game, all right, being played with England this week. Pittsburgh, they haven't have a defense. Miami is not very good. New England's supposed to have a good defense, hasn't here. I'm going to sort of go. I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to start at some point this week. I don't think it's going to be by week 10, although that does make sense here to name him the starter during the bye week, get him 2 weeks here. I'm going to go more, maybe double digits, week 12, week 14, somewhere around there. Because I want to give Gabriel a longer run. I think Gabriel might do some damage here against these lesser defenses here. So I think give him a longer runway here. That being said, I do not think Gabriel is the long-term future of this team. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback at all here. I think he's a number 2 at best here. Sanders could be a number 1. I have doubts about him too. I think Sanders has a better shot. So by week 9, by week 10, I'll sell that. But if you're going to give me a couple more weeks, I would have bought it.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. I think we're all happy here. I got goals out of LA, Minnesota, and Utah. So I got my grand salami in. What do you got, Gabe? What do we got here?
I got DeAndre Swift to score a touchdown, and I got the over in the football game. I'm against you guys with a total, and I'm on the Chicago Bears. Every time we go to a commercial break, something big happens. 55-yard touchdown pass. Bears to DeAndre Swift. Yeah, little screenplay, Scott, turned into like a 55-yard scamper. Touchdown, DeAndre Swift.
Wow. That's
Unbelievable.
huge. Now they got to go for
So
two.
now they go
God.
for 2, and the total goes over. And they're going for 2, obviously, because they're down 24-22, right? If it's boom, they get to 48. Suddenly the game goes over the number. Big 2-point conversion coming up here. Teams never get it, though.
No, incomplete.
See, this is why I do. But this is why before I went for 2.
And they don't get it.
They
don't get it.
They don't get it.
24-22. 10:25 left in the football game.
I can still give up a field goal with the under 49.5 still in play. So I'm happy about that. I don't quite get it. We talked about this, George, before you guys you came on the air. With all the clinics and all the practices and all the seminars these head coaches go through, you just think there would be 1 or 2 plays in their back pocket that they say, you know what? When push really comes to shove, there's no way this is stoppable. We're going to get 2 yards. We're not asking for 4 or 5 yards. It's 2 stinking yards. I've sat here all off season designing these 2-3 plays, and yet these coaches just don't seem to have them. I don't get it. So 24-22.
Well, I agree with you, and I'm sure they do have those plays. But, hey, defense coaches get paid too. For all we know, he had a great play, but defense outguessed him there, and they covered it here. Maybe somebody slipped and fell. I don't know. But, hey, for all we know, I'm not going to run it yet. There's 10 minutes left in the game, so I don't want to run my fantastic play yet. Coaches are like that as well here. But I agree. You would think he would have had a better play than that. But, hey, maybe the Commanders covered it, and that's why it didn't work there. Anyway, that was not good for me at all.
New total, 55.5. The computer is expecting 2 more touchdowns pretty much, right? Well, 46, 10 points. 10 points.
10 points. 10.5 minutes left.
10 minutes left. The Bears aren't stopping the Commanders suddenly. I knew this game was going to open up in the second half, but I was losing on the Bills. I thought it was, the Bills going to come back. And I bet the over 49 in this game, which I wasn't feeling good about, guys, a couple of minutes ago. Right?
The under was a lock.
Yeah. Well, they did have 20 points at the half. But you're right. So that's 30 points in the second half to beat you. You're right. That's quite a lot. And the Bears kept kicking field goals.
They take out Snell. First batter up gets on base for the Milwaukee Brewers. God forbid we should have
there is one out, Scott.
There's one out. So you're right.
So you got one out.
Yeah.
But still, why take Snell out? I don't care that he was 103 pitches. He was cruising.
Remember, you have to wonder if Snell said, I'm done. Right? I mean, Scooble told what's his name the other night.
Especially not Snell. You got into the fight,
Scooble told him the other night, I'm done in the 6th inning. Remember, he even did it when he had that big celebration. He struck out the batter. It does happen when pitchers say, hey, I'm done.
Send him back out there. Send him back out there anyway.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Too bad.
I
don't care if
I wouldn't be surprised either if they had a limit at 100 or something. Eddie, you know what I mean? It was like, listen, we're going to go 100 pitches. I would have sent him out there. But you're right, Scott. Famously, Blake Snell was livid, right, when he got taken out of a World Series game with the Rays. Yeah. And he got traded after because he was so mad about it. Like, he got in the manager's face in the clubhouse after the game. And he basically said, what the F's wrong with you? And, you screwed us, you screwed me. Snell was really, really upset about it. And remember, Cash famously said, tell him to look at what the average is the third time through the lineup. Right? Yeah. So he took a shot. The relationship was over after that. But I was going to say, Snell was all smiles in the dugout, Scott and George. Right? I was surprised. You know what I mean? If he was mad, he would have stormed into the clubhouse on his own. Yeah. He wouldn't have been there joking around with the interpreter and stuff. And, you could tell, he was he even did the Japanese thing and he was laughing it up and everything. And that surprised me because I'm thinking, man, I'm surprised you're not more upset about getting taken out of the game.
Yeah, so he may have said he was done, or what Gabe said, maybe they had a plan early. Listen, 100 pitches, you're done. That inning's going to be your end. So he knew about it going in anyway, that he was done here.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you guys. We've all been watching baseball for 150 years combined, right? I mean, I would have liked to see him finish the game. He obviously still had good stuff. He was baffling them. And I love Suzuki, by the way.
They can't help themselves.
Closer.
We said it earlier, George. I said to Scott, hey, Scott, they're like crackheads. They need it. They can't help themselves. We got to call the bullpen. You know what I would do? I would cut the connection on the phone. You know what I mean? There's no phone in the dugout. You can't call anyone. No, there's no phone. That's the message. There's no phone. All right?
Well, they rely. This is where the difference of analytics and manager comes in, right? they don't go by feel anymore. You can honestly see
they
that
have their minds made up.
Snell had it.
What do you think,
know,
George, of the Blue Jays? Because the Blue Jays have done it 2 days in a row earlier in the game, a little bit different. I thought they could have left Gossman in yesterday. I thought Savage could have been left in today.
I don't mind taking your Savage out. All right, rookie. Maybe they thought the moment was too much for him, but I don't mind that. Gossman, he's 76 pitches, I think it was.
Ground rule double now for the Brewers.
Wow!
Wow!
I was thinking after it was done. Wow! We got a ball game.
Second and third, one out right now. Yeah, why you take Snell out?
But remember Saturday night, the Mariners took out Kirby. It's a 1-out double. They take out Kirby, who's cruising along. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? And then, of course, the next batter against Spire, Carpenter hits the 2-run homer.
Wow. So, I mean, you keep him in there, right? This is his game now, right? I mean,
oh yeah, you're not taking him out.
Game to win or lose. I wonder if it was 1-0, would they put Snell out there?
That's a good point.
Gabe already said it. They were congratulating him. He was all happy. He wasn't coming back in. He was done.
That's true.
He was done. So no, I don't think he was coming back in no matter what. This is Sasaki. They're not going to remove Sasaki unless he gives up, next inning. He's getting a save. The game's going to the 10th right about now.
Yeah. Plus 235 on the money line of the Brewers. It's the bottom of the lineup, by the way, for Milwaukee too. It was the 7, 8, 9 hitters that are doing this. Yikes!
Unbelievable.
George, great job, man. Thanks, bud.
Shedeur Sanders will be starting for the Browns by week 9. I am buying this. I am buying this absolutely. At a certain point, Joe Flacco just not the answer. We know they already made the change. Dylan Gabriel is starting this week. We know that. But maybe a team needs a quarterback, and they're willing to trade for Joe Flacco for some level of stability, and then we simply get nothing out of Dylan Gabriel. He is a rookie quarterback when it's all said and done. Maybe there's just no production from him. So why not just move on to a different rookie quarterback that you have just to see what you have? And then, as you mentioned up at the top, you have to evaluate going into next year's draft. So I will absolutely buy this.
The next 4 weeks, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Miami, New England. I mean, the question is this. If they truly believe that Gabriel could be a future starter, you got to give him more than 4 weeks, right? That's 4 weeks is not enough. Minnesota, that's a rough game, all right, being played, England this week. Pittsburgh, they haven't have a defense. Miami is not very good. New England's supposed to have a good defense, hasn't here. I'm going to sort of go – I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to start at some point this week. I don't think it's going to be by week 10, although that does make sense here to name him the starter during the bye week, get him 2 weeks here. I'm going to go more, maybe double digits, week 12, week 14, somewhere around there. Because I want to give Gabriel a longer run. I think Gabriel might do some damage here against these lesser defenses here. So I think give him a longer runway here. That being said, I do not think Gabriel is the long-term future of this team. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback at all here. I think he's a number 2 at best here. Sanders could be a number 1. I have doubts about him too. I think Sanders has a better shot. So by week 9, by week 10, I'll sell that. But if you're going to give me a couple more weeks, I would have bought it.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
In-game live continues, game day, and we've got big-time drama right now as the Milwaukee Brewers have runners on first and third with 2 out. Yelich just got a walk. Los Angeles Dodgers started to overthink things, and they should have left Blake Snell in the game. We all discussed it. We were talking about it constantly. We've seen this over and over. I thought Savage should have been left in the game earlier. He was rattled early in the game, and now here comes Dave Roberts right now. So, like, seriously, like, who are you going to go to now? Like, what's the option? And now you're crushing Sasaki's confidence in game one by putting him in and taking him out, right? Unless they're going to talk to him, but I imagine they're taking him out. I mean, Roberts, Mark Pryor would be the one to go talk to him, and they're taking Sasaki out. See, now you got to start managing the game, and now you got to start worrying. And, like, you had Blake Snell in the game. We don't know, though. That's the one thing, right? And we'll get Scott Wetzel back. We just got a little technical issue, but we don't know. Did Blake Snell tell them, I'm done? You know what I mean? Pitchers do. Like, you know, it's one of those, you got to be honest with us. Maybe he said, I think it's best. I'm done. I'm at 103 pitches. Blake Snell's a freaking competitor, so I don't believe that would be the case. I would have figured that, hey, listen, you know, he's going to want the ball and stay in the baseball game, but why change things? Like, you're just asking. You don't know. Number one, too, Sasaki, yeah, he's got great stuff. He's also a rookie. He's a Major League Baseball rookie. Yeah, he's pitched in big games. You know, he was in the World Baseball Classic. Yeah, you're dropping this kid who's a rookie on the field, you know, with the game on the line, right, in game one. Well, you don't have to. That's the whole point. You got a 2-0 lead. Just let Snell finish the game off. If Blake Snell pitches in ninth inning, this game's over right now. Instead, we got to go through this drama, and, man, the Brewers, man, you know, they weren't going to go away, I tell you that much, right? They weren't going to go away. And like I said, too, now you bring in, now you sort of shatter Sasaki's confidence. So we're going to bring in Sasaki tomorrow now? Right? Like, you got to think ahead of things that, okay, if we're going to bring him in, then we lose with him, and it is what it is. We leave Sasaki in here, and he's our guy type of deal. But now you're going to Blake Trinan. Are you kidding me? Like, really? This is what you would prefer? You know, you would prefer Blake Trinan on the hill instead of Sasaki right now even? Or we could have Blake Snell on the hill. This guy is a gas can. He's 2-7 with a 5.40 earned run average. Like, this is the last guy. Like, I honestly was thinking, all right, you know what I mean? Pull something out of your hat here and put Ohtani in. You know what I mean? Say, you know what? Like, Glass now, you're up. Right? Like, you know, I would have lived with that. It would say, all right, listen, we're bringing in, you just brought in Glass now here to finish this thing off here. We need one out. Blake Trinan has been a gas can. He shouldn't even be on the postseason roster. And now he's on the hill here with the game on the line. I don't want to say this, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Brewers hit a home run here. This is unbelievable that the Dodgers put themselves in this position. Blake Snell, 100, you know what? All right. Like I said, I don't know. Did he tell you I was done? Was his arm about to fall off? But he was cruising. The guy, Blake Snell, gave up one hit. They have more hits in this inning than they did in 8 innings. Think about that. We've seen this time and time again with these managers taking pitchers out of the game for no reason. Now the Brewers steal second base. It was a free bag for them. So basically now a single wins the baseball game for the Milwaukee Brewers. The Dodgers have a 2-0 lead and Blake Snell on the hill. Now Snell's looking pissed off and stressed out in the dugout, and rightfully so. All right, we've got, there's 2 strikes right now. As far as the football game is concerned, the Chicago Bears have the ball back right now. There's 7 minutes left in the football game. They're trailing by a field goal, but they're on their own 3-yard line, so they're not in an ideal position here right now. They just got stuffed running the ball on first down. So they're going to have to come up with a nifty pass play to get out of get some real estate to work with. We got a 2-2 count in the baseball game. Man, listen, nothing is easy, but don't make it harder on yourself. Don't make it harder on yourself. The Brewers are a tough team. I get it. Like, you know what I mean? You don't think, oh, yeah, the Dodgers are going to win these games easily, but don't make it harder on yourself than it has to be. And Blake Snell's pitching a one-hitter. Like, honestly, if Don Larson was alive right now, he pitched the only perfect game in World Series history, they would have taken him out. Aaron Boone would come to the hill. Good job, Don. Give me the ball after 6 innings.
Shedeur Sanders will be starting for the Browns by week 9. I am buying this. I am buying this absolutely. At a certain point, Joe Flacco just not the answer. We know they already made the change. Dylan Gabriel is starting this week. We know that. But maybe a team needs a quarterback, and they're willing to trade for Joe Flacco for some level of stability, and then we simply get nothing out of Dylan Gabriel. He is a rookie quarterback when it's all said and done. Maybe there's just no production from him. So why not just move on to a different rookie quarterback that you have just to see what you have? And then, as George, as you mentioned up at the top, you have to evaluate going into next year's draft. So I will absolutely buy this.
The next 4 weeks, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Miami, New England. I mean, the question is this. If they truly believe that Gabriel could be a future starter, you got to give him more than 4 weeks, right? That's 4 weeks is not enough. Minnesota, that's a rough game, all right, being played, England this week. Pittsburgh, they haven't have a defense. Miami is not very good. New England's supposed to have a good defense, hasn't here. I'm going to sort of go. I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to start at some point this week. I don't think it's going to be by week 10, although that does make sense here to name him the starter during the bye week, get him 2 weeks here. I'm going to go more, maybe double digits, week 12, week 14, somewhere around there. Because I want to give Gabriel a longer run. I think Gabriel might do some damage here against these lesser defenses here. So I think give him a longer runway here. That being said, I do not think Gabriel is the long-term future of this team. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback at all here. I think he's a number 2 at best here. Sanders could be a number 1. I have doubts about him too. I think Sanders has a better shot. So by week 9, by week 10, I'll sell that. But if you would give me a couple more weeks, I would have bought it.
Fantasy Sports Today, Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on SportsGrid.
Well, I can't take this. The Buffalo Bills suck and lose to the Atlanta Falcons. The Los Angeles Dodgers have a one-hitter from Blake Snell. They take him out of the baseball game. Me, George Kurtz, and Scott Wetzel were all freaking out about it. But as I stated, don't worry about it if you're just joining us. I said that Blake Trinan is a stud. Don't worry about it, George. He's going to calm things down for them. Dodgers win. Dodgers win, just like they drew it up. But what a disaster, George. And now you mess with Sasaki's confidence, George, too. Right? You put him in, you take him out. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's sort of like a goalie. If you're going to pull the goalie, like a star goalie, like the closer, like if you're going to pull him, you better realize there could be ramifications moving forward for this, for him psychologically. I don't like it. They win, though. He can shake it off. He's a big boy. Dodgers end up winning, but dear God, they overthought that, Georgia. You follow baseball closely. Blake Trinan's a gas can. And we got Scott back. I'll throw it to you, George. Blake Trinan's like terrible. Like he's lucky he's on the damn postseason roster. I cannot believe he was the guy that they went to in this spot, but he gets them out of it. And look at this. The Dodger players are hugging him, and look how relieved he looks. Like he's not like high-fiving. You see, Scott? Like, look, he's all like, oh, thank God. Like he's like, oh, my God. Watch, I swear to God, look at people hugging him, and he's like, oh, man. He's not like, yeah, I got that. Like, no. Even he knows. Like, he probably thought, like, oh, my God, please, why me? Why you? Scott, I'll throw it to you, Kurtz. Blake Trinan, why?
Well, 3 things. 1, I would not have taken Sasaki out either. There's nobody else in the Dodgers bullpen that can pitch, really, so I would not have taken him out for the reasons you already mentioned here. 2, what did Scott and I talk about when I was here last? Let the ball hit you.
Hit you. Yeah.
Oh, my God, that was a swerve. He had to jump 2 feet out of the way.
Yeah, you're right. He just jumped out. Who was that on the Brewers?
Right. Let it hit you, buddy. Right. Let it hit you, and you got a tie game. It wasn't even going to hurt all that much. And the ball you did swing at, by the way, Aaron Judge couldn't hit. All right, it was 2 feet high, so it should be a 3-2 count, and away we go here. So, listen, you won the game. We all won the game. I think we were all on the Dodgers, so I'm very happy. But I would have not taken out Sasaki. I don't want to mess with that confidence. Listen, you got to find out what he can do. And by the way, even if the Dodgers lost today, I still think they're going to win the series. It wouldn't have really shaken me up all that much here. But Roberts played games, and it worked out for him. But Trinan is, not anyone's answer as a closer.
Wow.
Why?
Well,
you said
Dodgers
why is he even on a roster? Yeah, why is he even on the roster? I
2-5,
listen,
2-7, Scott, with a 5.5 ERA. I talked about the 26 blown saves. He's part of the big problem. Like, why the hell would you, like, I was freaking out. I'm like, put Glasnow in, put Emmett Sheehan in. You know what I mean? There's got to be someone better than Blake. Like, seriously, there had to be someone else.
It all goes back to why did you take Snell out? I mean, I'm sorry. He's got 103 pitches. This is the majors. You can go 15.
He had a one-hitter. One-hitter.
Yeah, fuck out 10. I mean, just let him finish it. What's the difference? You're not going to bring him back on 3 or 4 days rest at this point. I swear to him and said, listen, kid, one more. I know we said it before the game, but did so well. I'll take my chances, guys, losing a game with a pitcher who's throwing away with 10 strikeouts because he ran out of gas. I'll do. Knowing my bullpen stinks, they clearly got no faith in Scott anymore. He's doneer than done. Then going to a bullpen really confident with a 2-run lead. So,
well, if we can check Scott's audio. Your audio's a little spotty there, Scott. If you can refresh it. George, did you bet the Utah-Chicago hockey game, just for the record? We got 2 Chicago teams going on, but just quickly, the Blackhawks just won their first game of the year 3-1 tonight. I was on the Blackhawks, cashed the ticket, plus 140.
Yeah, it's going to be a mixed bag for me. I was on Utah, but I took the under as well here. So unless we get 2 empty net goals in 5 seconds, I'm going to be okay there. The whole day's been a disaster. All right. I think the only game I got right today was probably the Islanders losing to Winnipeg, which is no shock there. They're just a bad team, the team I root for. But like I said, not a good day. Who do
the Islanders play next, Kurtz? I don't want to pick on them, but you know they're in a tough spot. So who, Edmonton is next for them?
Edmonton, yeah, that's not going to go well. Oh,
wow.
Come on.
So the Commanders fumble. The Commanders got the ball. They were in control, and they fumble.
That's
2-point game.
Wow. Daniels, it was a high snap.
What happened?
And
they didn't get running.
They handed it off. It's like, oh, God. These teams find ways to lose. Killing me.
I think, guys, that's not an excuse, but I think this is where the weather could be coming into play there. You can see it's drizzling. It's not pouring, but there's a drizzle. Jaden got the snap. He never fully handled it, but he was bobbling it as he handed it off. So it turned into a disaster. Like, he didn't drop it, but he never got it. Like, you know what I mean? And Bears ball on their own 45, 3:07 left. Yeah, he was in the shotgun, Scott. Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't be in a shotgun then when it's raining and drizzling, and you got to worry about the center snapping the ball. You got to worry about the quarterback catching the ball. Just get under center, right?
He should still have caught the ball. Let's face it. Even the drizzly, windy, what the weather. You still got to be able to catch a center snap. Right. It wasn't a good snap.
It's not raining that hard either. It's a drizzle, like you know what I mean. I guess it's raining a bit, but it's not pouring.
It's a nor'easter. It's heavy wind too. It's probably blowing.
You're right. It's swirling around. Yeah, it's like Niagara Falls sort of. It's sort of like a little mist, blowing around everywhere.
That's still not an excuse, by the way. Catch the ball. I don't care. Catch the ball.
But Chicago ran the ball. They said, "Screw this, we're running the ball."
Yeah, we're running.
They need a field. They need a field goal only, right? But that opens up the door for Washington to kick a field goal after. But Washington have 3 timeouts left. They're not using them either right now before the timeout, before the 2-minute warning here. So it's a 3rd and 5.
I'm going to get screwed.
They don't get the playoff in time, so we're going to the 2-minute warning.
Wow.
What do you have, George? You have Washington money line, I guess, because they're not covering, right? So you have them on the money line or something in the parlay?
Money line and the under. So the under right now is still there. And
you're there with both.
If it's just a field goal, I'd still get the under. I would just lose the game. So I guess I
got a 49. I think I would get a push actually, right? Let me see. I got an even 49. Let's see.
I got a 49.5.
I might finally win by the hook. Because they'll probably just let us
bought a half a point. Yeah. No, I got 49. I didn't buy a point. Minus 110. So I got a 49 here. So field goal gets me a push, but I'm with you, Kurtz. I've had a lot of bad luck. Last night I got crushed with the Lions. The props sucked. They blew up in the second half. Terrible. Rolling into tonight. Very frustrating. I was on the Blue Jays earlier in the day. The Buffalo Bills. Just, you know what I mean? It's been the Dodgers hanging on was good. So at least if I could pull this out with the Bears And I got the Bears plus the points, and I got the over. So I'd like to hit both here, if possible.
Tell you what, if this ends up being a 50-yarder or so in these conditions, then you know what? The Bears deserve to win. You know?
That'd be a tough hit.
Rainy.
Hey, the last field goal, Scott, they attempted got blocked. Yeah, a couple of minutes ago. So
I wouldn't be so
on
conservative
these long
if I'm the
field
Bears.
goals. On these long field goals, we're seeing a lot of blocks, like even on the extra points, but it's more the longer ones we've seen. But you're right, Scott. I'm going to look for that after the show. I'll just poke around and see what the record is for blocked field goals in a year and where we're at now, right now.
Yeah. Got to be on pace to set the record. It's got to be the most,
It's legally constant.
Yeah. It's every other game.
Back in the day, the rules were different. You could hop, you could jump, you could help your partner up, jump on people. So maybe there was more back then. Certainly in modern times, or less.
Well, we'll compare to recent history then. You know what I mean? The last 10. We'll compare eras, but these guys are big too now. Don't forget, they're like basketball players.
Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens after the 2-minute warning.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
You may be surprised, because I am, that the athlete in the world who has become the first billionaire is Cristiano Ronaldo. I did not know that, and I did not have that on my bingo card. So after his contract that he just signed, it means that he's the first athlete to ever earn $1 billion playing sports.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I told you Vladimir Guerrero would hit a home run. He hits a home run on his first pitch. 2-run shot, 2-0 Jays. And I gave you Suarez earlier. I'm telling you, Scott, Contreras last night, Story the other night, bro, every night I've been hitting these home run props. And not the easy Ohtani ones at old plus 190. These are plus 450s, baby.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Basically a year's worth of starts at this point, because remember, Drake May was not the starter out of the gate during his rookie year last year. That was Jacoby Brissett. There have been some, encouraging performances and, I think some flashes of what could be upper echelon talent within the scope of the league. But going into this year, it was, we're going to find out.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yanks ain't looking good. My Phillies aren't looking good. Can we have a pity party this morning? I mean, what gives?
Listen, you want to talk about cities that aren't doing too well here. You mentioned the Yankees on the brink here. Jets, forget about it. 0-5. Giants, you lose to a winless New Orleans team. Things ain't any better here in the Big Apple. I think sports fans are maybe praying for the New York Rangers, who are certainly better than the New York Islanders.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game day here on the grid. So we got one major game underway. That is Washington leading the Bears 24-22. But Bears had the ball at the Washington now 31-yard line. Minute 22 left to go. They got a couple timeouts. Washington finally decided to use some timeouts because they realized, this is not going the way we want. So
can I comment on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't understand. You've got to use those timeouts when there's 3-4 minutes left. And coaches don't do it. It's like hockey timeouts. They save them for the wrong time all the time. They call the timeout with 17 seconds left and drop a play. It's we win the faceoff and if this happens, do this. Good job, coach. Maybe we should have called a timeout with 7 minutes left and really regrouped and, got our breath. And same thing here. Like these coaches, the Bills just did it. You let it go under the 2-minute warning, and we have our timeouts after. It's like, okay, they got 1 first down. We're screwed now, right? We're absolutely screwed.
Right.
At least we have the second crutch of the second 2-minute warning, the 2-minute warning after we start calling timeouts now. Like the Bills could have called timeout with cutting the ball back with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Instead, they got the ball back with a minute. And it drives me crazy, but it's time and time again. These coaches are a bunch of morons when it comes to managing games. We talk about it from an offensive perspective, but we don't talk about it from a defensive perspective and how they don't call timeouts properly.
Let me double up on this. I don't like what Chicago's doing now. They're playing for a 50-yard field goal in this kind of weather. What are you doing?
I was just going to say.
Yeah.
It's 2nd and 11 now. It's 2nd and 11.
Right.
I was just going to say, guys, if I'm them and I'm Ben Johnson and you're this big genius, this is the perfect time for a deceptive play down the field, right? Line up like you're going to run, show the tendency like you're going to run, get someone in one-on-one. You tell Ndunze, we're going to get with a one-on-one coverage here with you.
Quick slant.
And you get open. You just get open, Yeah.
But
get them to bunch the line. Go for the kill. You're right. Dude, I almost want to say, all right, man, this is going to get blocked. You're playing. The Rams drove me crazy against the Eagles that game, Scott. The Rams played and look at this. Swift just pops it again. Now they're really in good field goal range. Swift has been the star for them tonight. Big plays from Swift. Yeah, Scott, he had that big touchdown, and now the big first downs right now from Swift. The Bears are manning up and running the ball, and Swift is carving them up, 12-yard chunks type thing. That was a big 20-yard run or whatever.
When everybody knows you're going to run the football and you still do it for 14 yards, that's a pretty good run there. So hey,
nobody tackles anymore. Look at the Commanders. Bad angles they all took. It's just everybody.
Oh, they all try to punch the ball out. They don't want to really tackle. They want to punch the ball.
Or they're on the sideline, Scott. They try to push you over. They push you out of bounds. Yeah. But Pat said it when I bitched about the Bills, and Pat Foster in the booth tonight in Master Control said, yeah, but nobody's great in the NFL, at least this year, and it's true. Nobody can tackle, teams that run the ball now, you can be successful because everybody's soft. All these teams are on defense are smaller. They were built for speed to stop the passing game. Run the ball right at them. They can't stop it. The Bills aren't the only ones.
Think about this. Let's go negative here since I'm such a positive person. If the Bears don't win, right, somehow or another, they got a 1st and 10 at the Washington 18, down to 31 seconds left. If for some reason they don't win, it's got to be something dramatic, right? Considering they lost on a Hail Mary 50-yard, whatever it was, 60-yard bomb last year.
These two teams got together, Scott. I was going to say that. We got some close games with these teams.
Yeah. I mean, a blocked field goal,
That's why I took the points. I kind of think they're evenly matched. Yeah. I know that the Commanders are a little bit more advanced than the Bears are, but not really. You know what I mean? Yeah. Look, guys, I think you would both agree with me. The Commanders are not as good this year as they were last year. That's not a hot take. It's a fact.
Listen, they won 5 games last year to close out the regular. Listen, they had a great run in the postseason, George, right? But they won the last 5, with last-second plays that all went their way. So that stuff doesn't happen year after year.
McLaurin's still out for them. He may be back. Jane Daniels, second week back from injury as well. I don't think we see true NFL football till about halfway through the season. There's no contact in practice anymore.
Hey,
I just don't think we see it.
3 seconds left. Does he make it or not? It's a 37-yarder. What do you think, Gabe?
So he just kicked it, and they called the timeout. They made him redo it. And you know what? Did he miss one? Did he just miss that one too?
Did he miss the practice one?
I didn't really see it.
I'm not sure.
I'll see it.
Well, somebody kicked the 57-yarder.
Oh, my God. It's Jake Moody. I didn't even realize. It's Jake Moody from the Niners before and Michigan. Yeah. This is redemption for Moody. He's made like a 47, 48-yarder. He's made a bunch of them. It's a 38-yard attempt.
If he doesn't make this. I'll say this. This Bears dopey team was 4-22 their last 26 road games. Then they beat the Raiders in Las Vegas, and now they make it back-to-back. He made it.
From getting cut from getting cut from the San Francisco 49ers to getting mobbed by the Chicago Bear teammates right now. It's funny. They're all mobbing him. No one's even talking to DeAndre Swift. An assistant coach just shook his hand. Swift is the reason you won. Not the guy who got a 38-yard field goal. But, 25-24 final score. Bears win.
Wow. How about that? The Bears
are
that's pretty good. You got to say, right? Williams.
Oh, because of that fumbled snap.
The Bears are a 3-2 football team right now. Yep, all because of the fumble. Changed the whole course of the game.
Yeah. Wow. Swift ends up with 108 yards rushing, 67 yards receiving. So 170 plus yards, 1 touchdown. Caleb throws for 252. Daniels throws for only 211. I did hit my Krosky Merritt. He had 17 carries. He hit that, and he had 61 yards, so we hit the over 59.5. Got a little lucky with that one, obviously. So, boy, Washington falls to 3-2. How about that? The NFC East, all of a sudden, with Philadelphia having its struggles, Dallas having its struggles, maybe, just maybe, the Giants, George, when everything is said and done, can kind of emerge.
The way this year's going,
nice saying no to that.
Nothing would shock me.
It's not that funny. Who wins baseball tomorrow?
Dodgers.
Who wins baseball? Dodgers going to win it again? All right.
Dodgers.
Good job, George. Let's hope so, anyway. Good job, George. Appreciate it, Gabe, as always. Nice job. We'll be back tomorrow night. Hopefully you guys can do this right here on the Grid.